Hey there guys, I hope this video finds you all happy, healthy, and well. I wanted to come on real quick and just share with you because I've been getting some requests over the past several weeks from people who want some advice about starting to write their stories and write their book. This is the perfect time while we have downtime, right? And the reason they feel like they could come and ask me is because they know that I published my own book a couple years ago, Who the Hell Do You Think You Are?, that you can find on Amazon or on my website at marjoriephoenix.com, where I shared my story about going through, I had an abusive marriage. I spent the night in jail. I ended up being homeless and fighting for over a year and a half for the custody of my child and for my life back, really. And it wasn't an easy story to tell, but I did it. And when you are ready to tell these stories, before you even open up your laptop or pick up a paper and pen, what you want to ask yourself is, why is your story important? Who is going to benefit from your story? And what is the message? What is this thing that happened to you in this moment in time that people need to hear about and they will glean something from? A memoir is really about a moment in time. This is not about you writing your entire life story from when you were born, okay? Unless this thing that happened started there, right? But you want to encapsulate a time that something happened, bring and pull people into that and tell it from that space. And I think a lot of people get it confused. They believe that they have to tell this full memoir. And I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, even 60. Unless you're Oprah, we don't need to hear your whole entire story. We just want that thing that is going to help us in some way. Okay, so think about that. The other thing you want to ask yourself is, are you a reader? Do you really enjoy reading? Do you read fiction and nonfiction? Do you have some favorite authors? Because what's going to be important for you that's really helped me is really looking at how a well-written novel or memoir is done. Now, for me, Maya Angelou and Toni Morrison were big influences in my life. And they were influences in my life way before this happened. But it was really reading Maya Angelou's memoir, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sang, that showed me that a memoir can be written in a way that you're not just telling a story, but you're bringing people into your story. So you're getting them emotionally invested. I've had people that they would start reading my book, and halfway in, they would call me, they would text me and say, Marjorie, I am so pissed. Or, oh my God, my heart is broken. Like they couldn't go on because they had to tell me how this story of mine was making them feel. And that's what you want. You want them to be emotionally connected with you in that story while you're taking them along on that journey. So you want to think about the voice that you're using. You want to think about how you're writing it. Like I wrote my book like it was a fiction story because I had cliffhangers. At the end of every chapter, it left you hanging. You might have gotten a sense towards the end how things may have turned out, but still it left for uncertainty because I didn't know how things were going to turn out. And so that's what I did. I took you along every step of the way with me in my pain and my confusion and my frustration. And so, you felt that. But the number one thing I think that when you're writing a memoir, whether it's a tragic story or it was just this experience that you had as a childhood that you see, or in a marriage or whatever that you see has really given you some growth. And it's not that it ended well. It didn't have to be the hero's journey, which most stories are the hero's journey. But whether or not, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to be totally honest? No one wants to read a half-assed story. We want the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So how much of that are you willing to give? Are you willing to go there? And that's in the first, the second, the third, the fourth, fifth, whatever rewrite that you have to do. And especially if it's going to be an emotional story, are you willing to go back there to give us, the readers, what it is that we're looking for so that we can connect with you and benefit from the message that you have to tell? So we have enough time to really sit in our thoughts and to really think about this process before we get into it. And so I think this is a good place for you all to start. It's a reflective mode. And then I think what I'll do next week is I'll come on and then talk a little bit more about the formatting and the outline of how you might want to write that story, based on what is the story that you're trying to tell. So if you have any questions specific about that, feel free to leave it in the comments area or reach out to me on Facebook or on Instagram as Marjorie Phoenix. That's where you can find me everywhere on social media. And I'll be happy to answer those for you. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.